Hey, Max here. I have a couple of questions for you today. Have you ever been aware that you were living through a pivotal moment in your life when it was actually happening, or that when you were experiencing a life-changing event that it was actually taking place? I must admit I had a fair share of both pivotal moments, life-changing events in my life, but I was blissfully unaware. They just passed me by as and when they were happening. Let me give you a couple of examples, and that will also explain what pivotal moments and life-changing events have to do with internet marketing. Years ago, I boarded a flight from London to Rome together with a friend. Now, after lunch, I asked him, "What are you actually doing these days?" Before the flight landed at Rome, I had a new job in one of the most beautiful cities I know. Now, frankly, at the time, I had not been aware at all that asking this simple question had been a pivotal moment. Here's another one. In 1996, I was living in Paris, and I prepared for a weekend trip to London, where I had to cram in 3 birthday parties in 2 days, which was a lot of work, I know. A few days before I left for London, my telephone rang. At the other end was a voice from London that I hadn't heard from in years. Well, I was going to be there in any case, so I promised that I'd do my best to pop in briefly. Little did I know, again, how pivotal that telephone call had been. 28 months later, it resulted in an extremely life-changing event, and that not just for myself. Allow me a little diversion. 13 years later, we have mother and daughter performing in the school chamber concert a few weeks ago. Not life-changing, but absolutely wonderful. Anyhow, what does that have to do with internet marketing? I'm getting to it right now because that too was a life-changing event. In 2008, I attended a life-changing event together with another 4,500 people. It was my first ever internet marketing event, and I was determined that it would change my life. It did. How did I know? Well, at the time I was absolutely certain, because look where I was sitting. I had ticket number A1 sitting right in front, top right corner, as you can see here, yours truly in the first row at this event. Now, I was extremely naive and adjusted what I heard to what I wanted to hear. I jumped at a high ticket price fast track mentoring program. You can imagine what fast track did to the high ticket price. Exactly that. Now, I had bought the sales better hook, line and sinker. Well, what could I have done with Ted Nicholas, Dan Kennedy, Bill Glazer, Armand Morin and Andrew Reynolds among the presenters? And I treated the whole thing as a business investment, and forgot to remember that the value of your investment can go down as well as up. Now, as investments go, this one didn't flourish, but it sank all the way until it crashed for good. What a life-changing event it had been. Not quite as I had imagined it. All my savings were gone. I wasn't making a single penny. I had no idea in which direction to turn, and still have 3 large boxes of completely useless CDs and DVDs sitting in my hall. 2 years later, I joined Alex Jeffrey's coaching program. I was still groping for direction in internet marketing. I was basically running around in circles like a headless chicken, and still smarting from the major crash that had been the start of my online career. Alex's program, in contrast to my first experience, was full of great information and sterling coaching by Alex himself. I learned a lot, and unexpectedly it turned into a life-changing event too, although I definitely wasn't aware of it at the time. If you're interested, the entire program is still available, but instead of $997, which is what I paid, you can now have it for the princely sum of $27. Yes, 27. Even though it's exactly the same program. Check out my blog and the links below if you're interested. Now, you see, part of this huge program is a recording of an interview Alex had done with Maria Andros, the video queen. Now, I could go on waxing lyrical for hours about Maria Andros, but let me cut it short here for you now. Eventually, after procrastinating for a few weeks, I listened to the interview, blissfully unaware that I was living another pivotal moment. I fell head over heels in love with video. The trail from Fame at Last to Big Videos for You shows in which direction I was pivoted by Maria. However, nothing is ever straightforward. My stops and starts I have documented on my blog. I lost my way again, I succumbed to shiny new objects and jumped from here to there and back again. But a year ago, I finally woke up with a bump and returned to where Maria had told me to go. 2 months later, I launched my first WSO, and a few months after that, my second one. Both dealt obviously with online video. Now, judging by what I heard last weekend, I didn't do too badly at all with my first 2 WSOs. So, I had taken my first steps, but I was still fumbling to find a path. All I had at the time was just a vague direction. A light went on when I reviewed Quick Screencast profits for my membership site. But after all that darkness, I was simply still blinded by it and couldn't make out the details of the path that I needed to travel. Now, I knew that I had seen something, but I wasn't quite sure what I had seen. A few days later, I attended the Warrior Gathering in London. Now, this may sound like a scary, ferocious and definitely weird and wacky event. I assure you it was none of it. No war dance, no headbanging or pub brawls. It was a life-changing event and for me, and I became fully aware of it the morning after. Why was it life-changing for me? Because now I have a direction, a path mapped out and milestones pointed out, which I just have to arrange appropriately so that they will guide me to my goal. Now, aren't you blown away and bowled over by all that? Not really? I don't blame you. It's far too general, all these milestones and seeing the light and all this sort of stuff. Let me be more specific for you. I promise I won't go into endless details, otherwise that will get far too long. You can get all the details in the blog below, all the links, everything is there. So, let me be more specific for you now, and I'll have to look at my notes occasionally because otherwise I probably will forget the most important points. I spent last weekend in a room with over 100 internet marketers from the Warrior Forum. They were 7-figure earners, some of whom had actually completely crashed and come back again. There were complete newbies, some of them hadn't even put the first website up yet, and there were people of all shades of experience or ignorance in between. It was a fantastic atmosphere specifically for networking, for exchanging views, for learning new stuff. It was totally unpressured, no hassle, no pitching, totally relaxed. Presentations were characterized really by detail, precise detail, full disclosure, no holding back, no holds barred, and no hype. The takeaway from the weekend for me was absolutely enormous, apart from just from getting all my questions answered, because there was something else. I won the prize in the big raffle. Yes, it is the first time that I won anything since I won a teddy bear at a fun fair at about the age of, 7 or 8. So I was really happy. And the big prize wasn't just anything. No siree, not at all. I won a lifetime membership to a really hot brand new video marketing program, and I'll put all the details below in the blog, so check it out down there. Now, that in a nutshell was my Warrior weekend. The most important thing I took away from there was a really big shift in my mindset about the entire business. And that was really fantastic. So, more details about everything are, as I said, in the blog below. Go and have a look. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.